Do you face daily challenges while working in SharePoint? Would you like to automate processes, save time, and work more efficiently without having to rely on power users? You can! QuizCom is your one-stop solution for all your SharePoint needs. With 10,000 plus clients and over 70 SharePoint and Office 365 products, we offer a solution for any SharePoint requirement. Let's take a glance at a few of our products. No-code, smart and secured forms. User-friendly and highly customizable organization charts. Data aggregation across your SharePoint Online tenant and MS Graph API. SharePoint and Exchange Online calendar aggregation. One-click convert to PDF and print. When using a third-party app, have you ever wondered how secured your data is when it's processed on a vendor's cloud server? All QuizCom apps are non-technical and are 100% secured. Your data never leaves your tenant. Discover how QuizCom can solve your SharePoint frustrations. Go to www.quizcom.com today and try out any QuizCom product for free.
Hello and welcome to the session Let's Experience a Remarkable Onboarding. My name is Corinna and I will guide you through this session for the next approximately 50 minutes. In this session, I would like to talk about the employee onboarding process in a company implemented in Office 365 with out-of-the-box tools of Office 365. And before we start, I would like to introduce myself. Like I said, my name is Corinna. I'm working as a modern workplace consultant for now more than 8 years in the consulting area. And actually, I'm working at MSG Services in Munich, in Germany. And in my free time, I'm organizing also some different community events in the Office 365 area. So I'm organizing the Microsoft Collaboration Meetup in Munich, which is actually also online. It's in German language and you can find it on Meetup. And I'm also organizer of the Adoption Forum, also in Munich, together with 2 other colleagues from the community. And I'm organizer also for the SharePoint Saturday in Munich, which hopefully takes also place at the end of this year. When I still have free time on weekends and on sunny days, you can find me in the air. I've started to do paragliding 2 years ago, and it's a really very nice hobby. But now back to the business. Let's take a look on today's agenda. So first of all, I would like to give you a short overview about onboarding. Why onboarding in a company and what means onboarding for a company. And after that, I will go in a demo and show you a use case on the onboarding process of new employees in a company with Office 365. So let's see first of all the definition of onboarding. What is onboarding? So onboarding is in the area of human resources and talent management. So the basic area is the human resources area, but of course onboarding is not only in human resources. It involves a lot of departments, a lot of people, and of course also the new employee. The idea of onboarding is to introduce new colleagues to their area of work and application. And of course, the new employees need to be integrated in the new company. So let's see why onboarding. Why is onboarding so important for a company? So when we talk about onboarding, the challenges of joining a new company are often underestimated. Why is that so? So there are a lot of repeating tasks. So when a new employee joins a company, there are tasks that are always done again and again and again for every new employee. For the new employee, there is a new environment. This means a lot of changes, a lot of new processes, new people, different ways of working, and also a lot of new tools. And for the new employee, it's a lot of new information, and also for the company, it's a lot of work, paperwork to do when a new employee joins the company. So let's see why onboarding is so important. So first of all, it's the productivity. So the faster an employee is trained and integrated, the faster he can deliver the performance that is required in his job. And a very important aspect is also the motivation, because you need to have motivated employees to be productive. Yeah, and onboarding is a sign of appreciation for new employees. Imagine you're starting in a new company and you get a lot of useful and important information in your first working days, and you see that the company really is interested in its new employees. So it's a sign of appreciation for employees, and it's very important. And another aspect is also that it's important to learn from mistakes of others. If you take it to the extreme, a single mistake could paralyze an entire company. Of course, it's not always like that, but it also sometimes starts with small mistakes. As an example, you have a process in the marketing department. Yeah, you want to provide some marketing material, and you don't know the process in the company because the onboarding was not so good. So then sometimes it leads to unnecessary mistakes. Yeah, and for this reason, an onboarding and good onboarding is very important. Another aspect is the specialist bottleneck, because recruiting new employees costs time and money, and specialists are very rare nowadays. So that's why it's essential to bind also capable people to the company and offer them a good onboarding. Fluctuation is also an aspect, and up to a certain degree it's okay. So keyword fresh wind, but the fluctuation should not be so big, and this also is connected to the motivation, because if you motivate your employees and if they are happy with the company, they are onboarded, you will not have a big fluctuation. And also a very, very important aspect is the brand ambassador aspect. So onboarding contributes to employer branding. So what means this? Example, if your company, the company where you are working for, is searching for new employees, they will not come to you as an employee and ask you to ask your friends if they want to join the company. Yeah? But if the company motivates you and offers you everything you need, a good onboarding, and you're connected to the company, this contributes to the employer branding. And if you are happy with your company, the company where you are working for, you will recommend it also to other people. So these are just a couple of reasons why onboarding is so important. But let's see now what means onboarding for a company. And there are different integration aspects when we talk about new employees. It's important also to understand a little bit of this theoretical topics about the onboarding, because later in the demo it will be much more easier for you to understand all these aspects and why it's so important to know a little bit about a process, in this case the onboarding, before you implement it. Yeah? So the first aspect is the technical aspect. So you need technical equipment for your new employees, because if they don't have equipment, they are not able to work. Another aspect is also the social inclusion, because the social inclusion reaches its goal as soon as the individuals become a community, and it's very important. A very good thing to measure it is if a new employee is not called the new one anymore. So it's just an employee that is long enough in the company, and it's not new anymore. So this means that the social inclusion was successful. And there is also the professional integration. Of course, a company wants also to be successful, to earn money, and the goal of professional integration is to build the competence and to be able to deliver professional stuff. And the cultural aspect is also very important, because like I said before, almost every company has a corporate identity, and it's important that an employee identifies with the company he's working for. And also the cultural integration is very important in this topic. So I would like to take also a look on the onboarding phases, because when you talk about onboarding of a new employee in a company, you have 4 phases. The first one is before the first working day. It's all the organizational stuff that has to be done before a new employee starts at the company. Then you have the second phase. It's on the first working day. At the first working day, the welcome day. Then you have the first weeks. Sometimes it's 1 week, 2 weeks, or 3 weeks. It depends also on the company, on the size of the company, and also on the processes and the complexity of the company. And then you have the integration phase that takes a little bit longer, almost 6 months. Let's take a look on some tasks on this onboarding phases. For example, before the first working day, you have tasks like sending information and documents to the new employees, designing contact person, setting up the workplace, all the technical stuff, and also creating an introduction plan for the new employee. On the first working day, you have a task like handing over a welcome package, prepare reception, having a lunch with the new employee, and maybe also conducting some feedback discussion, and of course presenting the team to the new employee. And after that, the tasks are continuing in this process. In the first weeks, you have the most important introductions for the new employee. You offer further trainings, you conduct employee reviews, and also legal topics. Of course, you will not be able to do all introductions and all trainings, but for this you have the integration phase, the phase after the first weeks. And here you can offer further trainings, introduction events, and also team building activities and also to provide and to sustain the professional networking. So why I talk about this onboarding phases, it's because I have implemented it in the process that I will present now, this onboarding phases, and it's an idea how you can implement a process based on these phases, because every company has these phases for onboarding, and that's why I wanted to talk a little bit about them in advance to get an idea. Now I think it's enough with the theory. Let's take a look on the solution and on the idea of the employee onboarding. So what I've implemented is an employee onboarding process in Office 365 with out-of-the-box options and solutions. Here you can see in the slide an overview of the tools and applications that were used in this solution example. First of all, SharePoint. In SharePoint you can share and manage content. In SharePoint I have used a lot of lists, task lists, and also the employee onboarding and human resources portal. Then you have Stream as a video platform. In Stream you can save videos of your company, welcome videos, introductory videos, everything what is specific for your company, or maybe also training videos if you offer your own trainings. Then we have forms. With forms you can create simple surveys and quizzes. Another tool is Power Apps. With Power Apps you can buy mobile and web apps, but also forms for SharePoint. Then the very powerful PowerAutomate. With PowerAutomate you can automate all processes in Office 365 and connect these tools and processes with each other. Microsoft Teams, that is the tool for collaboration, and Outlook, of course, for email sending, emails, not email notifications or task notifications. Let's take a short look on the process in a nutshell to see what is implemented in the demo that I will show you after this for the next 20 minutes. So the process in a nutshell. First of all, I've created two portals. The first portal is the HR onboarding portal. It's called HR because the onboarding process is based in HR. Everything starts in the human resources department, but this HR onboarding portal also has some administrative tasks that are not only for HR people, also for marketing or IT. But the idea is the first portal is the administrative portal for all the administrative tasks that have to be done when a new employee joins a company. The second portal is the employee onboarding portal. It's just for the new employees during their onboarding phases. And the second portal contains a lot of useful information for new employees, what to find, where, and stuff like this, but also tasks that are assigned to the new employees. And these tasks after the onboarding phase can be measured, so then you can see, okay, the employee has done all his tasks, and now he's not a new employee anymore. He's just an old one, let's say. So the idea of the process is that tasks are assigned to the new employees and to different responsible entities. The example that I will show creates and assigns tasks in a SharePoint lists and Planner. So I will use also Planner and also SharePoint to show you a little bit of difference. And tasks could also be created in To Do if you want, but I've just created it in SharePoint and Planner. And the process uses several SharePoint lists. So SharePoint lists are for storing the information that is needed for the task. For example, employees. When new employees are created, they are stored in a SharePoint list, or task categories, or a task list. So it's just a master task list that contains all available tasks that can be assigned. After the last list is the employee task list. It contains all the tasks that are specifically assigned to the new employees. So the solution contains also further content, like, for example, an FAQ list with all important questions for new employees, links to the most important resources, specific training videos, or employee surveys. Let's take a look on the demo side and to get a better overview of this process. Okay, so this is the first portal that I will present. That's the HR onboarding portal. That's the administrative portal, and here in this portal, as you can see also, it's dedicated to all employees involved in the onboarding process, so not for the new employees, just for the administrative tasks like HR department, IT, controlling. Then this portal, developed in SharePoint, has an overview of important links, quick links, and also this site is connected to a team in Microsoft Teams. So if people that are involved in this onboarding process want to discuss or have questions and want to communicate and collaborate with each other, they can use the team in Microsoft Teams. And here you can see also other important links. After the quick links in this site, you can see the onboarding tasks. So this is a planner board. So this planner board is used to manage all the tasks that are assigned. So as soon as a new employee is created, new tasks will be created and assigned to specific people, so to responsible people. First of all, let's take a look on the team in Microsoft Teams, because I've opened it here in the browser. And HR onboarding, this is a team in Microsoft Teams. And as you can see also here, as soon as a new employee joins the company, there will be a new post in Microsoft Teams with all the information about this new employee. But that's not all. Let's go back to the site and let's add a new employee. So let's suppose that someone is now joining the company. Let's say that I will join the new company and I will add in my own as a new employee. This is just a simple SharePoint list with a lot of fields that has to be filled out for a new employee. The idea is that it's the first time when the new employee is registered. Yeah. So let's say that's I'm starting at the company. That's me, female. Then you can select the start date for the new employee and a lot of other important information like department, birthday, private email address. Let's say Corinna. Okay, and when I'm done with adding all the information, I can save the new employee. And what happens as soon as I create this new employee, the tasks will be created and also a post in Microsoft Teams will be fired out. So, okay, employee is created. Here you can see also the list with all new employees and all the information that has been added here in the forms. And let's go now back to the start page of the site and see if the tasks have already been created. Let's scroll down to the onboarding tasks here. And okay. As we can see, the tasks haven't been created yet. Let's go to Teams and see if here, okay. The post has been fired out, as you can see here. And now let's go back to the start page and just refresh it again and see if the tasks have been created. So it's very easy. This process is creating tasks, is assigning tasks to employees, is firing out a post in Microsoft Teams. And of course, you could extend this process and implement it and extend it as you wish. For example, you could extend this process also with Azure Automation and say, as soon as an employee is created, with Azure Automation, you automatically create a user account and assign policies and stuff like this. But for now, we just keep it simple. The onboarding tasks have been created, so that's just a naming convention, the name of the new employee, in this case Corinna Linz, provide hardware, and the task is automatically assigned to the responsible person, in this case Mike, and create user account is assigned to Marie. And here there is another task for the third phase, offering the HR portal access. So in the back there is a task list. So we've seen already the employee list. So the task list just stores the master tasks. So this task list, as you can see here, contains just some tasks that are associated to phases, and as soon as a new employee is created, all these tasks are added for that new employee. Let's take also a look in Microsoft PowerAutomate and see how this flow was implemented, because it's really easy. If I'm here in PowerAutomate, I can see my flows and onboarding, create HR task. This is my onboarding process. Let's edit this process and see what was done here. So the trigger is when a new employee is created in the list employees in SharePoint. Then there is a new post info in Microsoft Teams in the associated team with the name, start date, department, as you can see here in the team. That's the post. After that, all available HR tasks are you need to get all available HR tasks. These tasks are meant here, and then a due date is initialized. The due date is necessary because depending on the phase of a task, a due date is directly calculated. Okay, so that's just a variable, and after that, this process is applied to all HR tasks. So then I have here a switch, and this switch just checks if the task phase, let's go here. So I just have here defined 4 switches: before the first working day, first working day, first 2 working weeks, and integration. Just let's open this one. So this means if the due date is setting the due date and creating a task. That's what we want to do. And for every task phase, we will check, okay, if the task phase is in the first 2 working weeks, then we set the due date and create a task in Microsoft Planner. And for every task that is defined, a new task in Planner will be created for the new employee. That's everything this workflow is doing. And here in this workflow now you could extend the workflow, and you can also add new functions and extend it as you wish and as you need. And it really makes also sense to extend it with Azure Automation and do automatic creation of user accounts. So that's the first process, the HR onboarding for the administrative tasks. So administrative tasks are very important. But now when the new employee is starting at a company, he needs information and he also needs tasks. So for this reason, I've created the second portal, the employee onboarding. Let's go here to the start. So the employee onboarding is just for the new employees. It has a short welcome message for the new employees, and then the most important company apps. It's really important for new employees because if someone is starting, he has no idea what tools, what applications are the company has. The new employee has no idea what training resources are available and all this stuff. This is information that for new employees is very important, and for us that when we are working for many years in a company, it's normally and obviously so. Just think about this, that a new employee has no idea about anything in the new company. So here in this team, it is also associated with Microsoft Teams. So if the new employee is getting here, he can join the onboarding conversation in Teams, and if the new employee has any questions, he can communicate in Microsoft Teams with its peers. Then an FAQ list is also very important for new employees. Let's just take a look, and here you have FAQs starting with intranet. Where is the intranet? Where they can find the intranet? What's the name of the intranet? Because a lot of companies have a name, our intranet or stuff like something like this. Or other stuff like printing documents. How can I print a document? It's everything. It's new for the new employee, and also information like how they can update their LinkedIn profile. What is important to know, or after works, when they take place, and where they can find the information about all this stuff. The layout of this list, I've adjusted the layout with list formatting. So in SharePoint, you can use list formatting to format the layout of a list. In the back, you use JSON to format the list. And on GitHub, you can find also a lot of examples for list formatting, and you can get there a little bit inspiration. It's pretty easy to do it. So I'm also not an expert, but it's really not complicated. So this is a page where the FAQ list is integrated. If I go and see all, I'm directly in the list where the FAQs have been created. And here on the right side, if you go on Format Current View, here you can format the view and add the desired JSON for the list formatting. So it's pretty easy and straightforward. You can do this for the whole list, or you can do it only for certain columns if you want. Let's go back to the start and see what else we have here. And these important things. Okay, IT service desk is obvious. Then you have tools that are important for employees like time tracking or absences, and also on Office 365 user adoption portal, which is also very important. Imagine you're working in a company and Office 365 has already been adopted. Everyone is working with Teams, with Planner, with SharePoint. But a new employee, he will not know anything about the tools that are used. And for this reason, it's very important to have Office 365 user adoption portal also after the tools have been adopted, and to update it, and then to have news, to offer trainings, to offer online trainings or offsite trainings, or just having some videos there. So let's just go here and see how a portal could look like. So that's just an example of a user adoption portal where you can have a lot of information in the top area, then top news on the right side, having some events and trainings, for example. And you can also reference on Twitter, and it's really very helpful because you can find on Twitter a lot of information that is very useful in Office 365 and Microsoft 365. Okay, let's go back because we don't want to focus on the adoption portal. We are back on the employee onboarding portal, and if we scroll down, now I have here my onboarding tasks. So let's suppose that I, Corinna, have started here at the company, and I'm just here on this site, and now I want to see my onboarding tasks. So first of all, an administrator has to add the new employee. I have here an admin page where all the information for this employee onboarding portal can be found. Similar to the HR onboarding, there is an employee list where I need to add the new employee. So now, of course, I don't know, maybe it doesn't make sense to have two lists, to have an employee list in the HR onboarding and to have here another one. It's true, it doesn't make sense, but at the moment when the employee is created in the onboarding list, he doesn't exist in the Active Directory. He doesn't exist as a user in a company. He doesn't have a user account. And here in the employee onboarding, the employee already has a user account. So I need a new employee with a user account to be able to assign him tasks. So of course, you could automate this. As soon as in the onboarding, a new user is created, there is an automation process that creates an account for the new user, and as soon as an account is created, it just provides the information to the employee onboarding site, and then automatically the tasks can be created. So in my case now it's not automated yet, so in my case I will add the new employee, and now I just need to type here the name of the employee, and of course now I will find the user account and set the starting date, private email address, and he will get a new notification with the link to the portal and several information. Okay, and you can also add here a let's say adding a mentor. Let's add Marie as a mentor and save the new employee. As long as the workflow is running, let's take a look to the administration page. Like in the HR onboarding, here we have a task master list. Of course, this task master list is customized for the employee, and here you have tasks like provide or personal documents that have to be before the first working day. Then you have tasks that have to be done in the first working day, like creating email signature or order business cards. And then you also have tasks that can be solved and achieved later, like attending the Microsoft 365 introduction and overview. So this is the task master list. This has to be administrated by an admin, and the admin defines which tasks are added here. And the workflow is similar to the HR onboarding workflow. The only difference is that here in this site, the tasks that are created are not in Planner. The tasks are directly in a SharePoint task list. Let's go back on the start page and see if the tasks have been created. Okay, as we can see, the tasks haven't been created yet. Let's just wait a couple of seconds. Sometimes it takes a little bit until tasks have been created. So what happens now? The tasks from the master list are created and assigned to me, and me as the new employee, I will see here all the available onboarding tasks that have to be solved. Okay, as you can see, the onboarding tasks have been created, and here you can see also I have worked a little bit with list and column formatting. So for example, I've added some icons for viewing a task and some colors for the due date of tasks, and here also a task status that shows what is the status of a task. And also with reference to different links and resources for the task. For example, fill out the feedback survey. Here in the feedback survey, if I go to the reference, a new form in Microsoft Forms will open, and so this is a simple survey that was created with Microsoft Forms, and the new employee that is now after 6 months not new anymore has to fill out this form. I'm satisfied. Let's say everything went well. Okay, and now I can submit. So that's the survey that can be created for employees. You can also create some quizzes with forms. For example, if you don't have a training software or something like this, you can create quizzes and also add videos to these quizzes and to make some tests for your employees. And if we go to Microsoft Forms in the application, let's take a short look on the results. So that's the editor for the forms, and here you can also see the responses of the employees. So it also has a nice visualization, and here the administrator can also see all the responses for this survey. Let's go back to the employee onboarding, here to the tasks. I also have here some other references. For example, for the Microsoft Teams training, there is a reference to a page where that contains videos from Microsoft Stream. So here we have videos in Microsoft Stream added to a channel, employee onboarding. So the new employee, he just needs to select a link and go here and to watch the trainings for Microsoft Teams. Back to our tasks. One more thing I want to show you, it's just the flow, and to show you that there isn't a big difference here. If we go back to the flow list, that's the second flow, the create new employee tasks. And this flow is similar to the first one. The only difference is that here at the end, it's just creating a new employee task in SharePoint and not in Planner. That's the only difference. So that's the way that's the wrong portal. So that's the way this employee onboarding with its tasks is working. And of course, as soon as I'm changing the status of a task, then the task disappears from this view. And here I can only see my onboarding tasks, so the tasks that are assigned to me. So that's the idea of it. I will go back to the slides because I have 2 more slides for today, and that was the onboarding process I wanted to show you. In fact, the idea is that you can implement every process in your company in Office 365, and you have a lot of tools that you can combine with each other and achieve the goal for your process. And you really have a lot of possibilities and options. You just need to know about them and to know what you can do in Office 365. let's go back to the slide. Here, I still have 2 more slides. So you, as I have said, you're able to extend the process as much as you want. You can invest really a lot of time and work and energy if you want. Like I said, Azure Automation is very important because with Azure Automation you can configure and automate operational tasks. For example, you can create users, you can assign policies to users or grant access to certain portals or sites, and you can do this just by triggering a flow in PowerAutomate. Then you have SharePoint framework. With the SharePoint framework you can develop your own web parts, so your own elements in SharePoint and in Microsoft Teams, and you can also implement, for example, application customizers. You can develop almost everything you want. Then you have Power Apps. You can use Power Apps for complex list forms in SharePoint, but also you can use Power Apps for custom apps for your company. For example, having an app for just requesting vacation. Yeah, you have an app on your smartphone, a Power App. You just need to open the app, request vacation, and then the information from this request are sent to another system, for example, to an SAP. After they are approved, they are sent to the SAP system, and so you can connect with data from external platforms, and you can fetch data from external platforms in Office 365, and also provide data from Office 365 to other platforms. So a short recap for this session. The onboarding process in a company shouldn't be underestimated. It's really very important to have a good onboarding process, to provide to your employees a lot of information in advance, to give them the feeling that they are at home, that they are at a company where they belong to that company. And so this onboarding process is just one use case that shows the variety of Office 365 possibilities. You can implement different different processes. This was just an example to show you how much you can do with all these tools by combining them. And last but not least, designing the process is much more complex than implementing them, because in the design you really have to think about what happens when a new task is created, and to design this process is much more complicated than implementing in Office 365. That's very important to know. Okay, so that's all from my side regarding the onboarding process. There are also a lot of resources. You can take a look on them. One of them is the SharePoint Lookbook, and I really recommend it to you. It's just a website with examples of SharePoint sites, and you can also provision these examples to your Office 365 tenant or Office 365 test tenant. Yeah, so take a look on the SharePoint Lookbook, because it gives you a lot of inspiration about how you can design and lay out portals, what contents do you need, and it's really helpful. Okay, so thank you for attending the session about the employee onboarding process. If you have any questions, you can contact me on Twitter or on my email address. Just write me a message and ask me. Thank you for attending the session, and I wish you a nice day or a nice evening. Thank you.